Yo, what's up, guys? It's the MMA Analyst here to give you my predictions for UFC on FX4 Guida versus Maynard. Real quick, if you're looking to get into any MMA betting, you want to sign up to any sites or more specifically Sports Interaction for y'all non-American bettors, please contact me. I'll set you up with the link. You sign up, do your thing, and that helps me out, you know what I mean? And then I'll give you 2 free months of betting picks. All right, so let's get down to this card here. Definitely, it's an improvement from the last card, which was pretty bad on paper. Didn't end up that great. The main event was fine. Was that even the last event, or am I looking back at the McCall situation? Anyways. Main event, Clay Guida versus Gray Maynard. I think it's a pretty simple situation here. You've got Gray Maynard, who is top 5. Excellent wrestler, very strong, big 155er. And, there's a handful of people that could probably beat him consistently. And you've got him facing Clay Guida, who is just a grinder. Is he really great at anything? I think his greatest strength is his cardio and, I'll say, world-class cardio. Not many people have kind of cardio like Clay Guida just to be able to go 150% nonstop. So that's his biggest asset. Because if you take that away from him, his wrestling is not that great. His submission game it's okay. It's probably his second best thing is his submission game against people who aren't amazing in jiu-jitsu. And his striking is horrendous. So his cardio, his being able to just push up on you, push you up against that fence, all that stuff, that is his, his biggest asset. But at the end of the day, he doesn't have the skill set, in my belief, in my opinion, to beat any of the true top guys. Ben Henderson, Gray Maynard, Frankie Edgar, those guys. Gilbert Melendez. And even if he were to fight again, like a rematch against a focused Anthony Pettis, I gotta pick Anthony Pettis. If he fights this crazy, I don't know what's been happening with Nate Diaz. I don't know. I might still pick the wrestler, but I'll be damned if Diaz has it. The point is, he's just not that great at anything. And the only way I can see him winning this fight is by Gray Maynard getting tired by the 3rd round and then losing the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th round. And then, because it's got to be a 5-round fight, right? If it's a 3-round fight, then Gray Maynard he can't lose. I think the thing about it is, even though Gray Maynard is stronger than Clay Guida, better wrestler than Clay Guida, most fighters want to take little breaks here and there. They want to throw punches and take a break. They want to take you down and take a break. Clay Guida doesn't allow you to break. You want to wrestle, he's going to make you wrestle the entire time. And so if it's 5 rounds and you are getting tired by the middle of the 3rd, Clay Guida is going to keep going. So if this is a 5-round fight, I think the window of opportunity is there for Clay Guida to potentially just be too damn tiring for Gray Maynard, and then to maybe win the last 3 rounds. If it's a 3-round fight, then he shouldn't even have an opportunity to win a decision. But I do have Gray Maynard just being better at everything except for cardio, and just controlling Clay Guida. Guida wants to get takedowns, he can't. He can't strike. So if he were to knock out Gray Maynard, that'd be ridiculous. But he can't strike. Can he submit Gray Maynard if Gray Maynard's tired? Can he catch him in some transitional submission? Gets taken down, catches him in a guillotine. I don't really see it happening. I just think Gray Maynard is too good at all the things that Clay Guida kind of finds are his strengths. I think whatever Clay Guida is strong at, I think Gray Maynard is just better. So I'm going to pick Gray Maynard by decision. Next fight, Sam Stout versus Spencer Fisher. I'll be damned if Hatsuhioki versus Ricardo, or whatever. If Hatsuhioki, just in general, he should be on the main card. Especially since he's potentially the number 2 featherweight in the world. Had a great showing in his last fight. And could be maybe getting a title shot sometime soon. I think he actually turned down the title shot because he said, I just want some more time in the cage. But anyways, he should be on the main card. Anyways, Sam Stout, Spencer Fisher. This will be an interesting fight. It's their third fight. It's split 1-1 right now. So this will be kind of like the winner of the trilogy. This is the rubber match. Spencer Fisher, though, he just hasn't looked good in a long time. He should be, I mean, he's been fighting for a long ass time in general. He's been fighting for like 10 years. He's had like 30 something fights. Most of his fights, he's aggressive, always going for finishes. Out of his 24 wins, he has 19 finishes. But yeah, he just hasn't been able to put it together. And, Thiago Tavares TKO'd him. He lost to Ross Pearson. His only win since UFC 99 was over Carl Warburton. He lost to Joe Stevenson at UFC 104. That's 2009. He fought two times in 2010. His last fight was August 27th, 2011. It's not looking good for him. And he hasn't looked solid in a long time. And it's also been 5 years since they had their last fight where he actually beat Sam Stout. I think in this fight, Sam Stout, I think he just, he hasn't had so much wear and tear. I don't think that he is, he hasn't been sitting around for so long. He has some solid wins. Paul Taylor, Yves Edwards. He did get outstruck by Thiago Tavares, which was very surprising. If Spencer Fisher wants to take this fight to the ground, Sam Stout needs to, make sure that doesn't happen, or he could end up losing on his back. But yeah, I've got to go with Sam Stout. He won the first one. He lost the second one. And in the third match, I got to go with Sam Stout. I think he's going to win a decision, a close decision. And yeah, I mean, Sam Stout himself, unless he wants to find himself in a similar situation as Spencer Fisher, he needs to do some upgrading to his training and whatnot as well, just so that, he doesn't find himself on his back against all the wrestlers or being outstruck by Thiago Tavares. So, at the end of the day, though, I do have Sam Stout winning that. Next fight, Brian Ebersol versus TJ Wahlberger. Wahlberger, great jiu-jitsu. He loves going for all types of submissions all the time. Out of his 15 wins, 12 submissions. Brown belt in jiu-jitsu, but solid jiu-jitsu. He'll be facing Brian Ebersol, who's pretty solid in his wrestling. However, out of his 14 losses, 9 of them are by submission. He's coming off of a very close fight with Claude Patrick. Before that, I think he was, if I remember, he was taken down really early against Dennis Hallman. Had to fight off a submission for a while. Anyways, ended up getting that win. Solid. It was like a first round comeback in a way. Had a solid fight against Chris Lytle. And those are his 3 UFC bouts. 3-0 in the UFC. TJ Wahlberger, his last loss is a knockout loss to Johnny Hendricks. He defeated Jake Heck. He also defeated Mike Stump. These guys aren't nearly at the level, well, Johnny Hendricks is, and he lost to him. But they're not the level of Brian Ebersol. It's tough because I think if the fight does go to the ground, TJ Wahlberger will probably finish Brian Ebersol. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go with Wahlberger here. Brian Ebersol is, again, the better wrestler. He's also the better striker. Way more experience. But I just see this fight eventually getting to the ground. And Wahlberger being able to come out with the win. He has been knocked out or TKO'd by Ricardo Funch. That's not good. He's been knocked out 5 times altogether. So if you look at TJ Wahlberger getting knocked out or TKO'd 5 times, Brian Ebersol being submitted 9 times, both of these guys like to lose in the fashion that their opponents like to win. But I mean, even still, Brian Ebersol does have 20 submissions out of his 49 wins. He actually has more submissions than he does knockouts. So he's no bum on the ground. But yeah, I am going to go with TJ Wahlberger. It's a tough pick. It could go either way. But at the end of the day, I think TJ Wahlberger is going to pull it off. And then the last one I'm going to cover on the main card, or for this card, is Ross Pearson, Cub Swanson. I do have Ross Pearson outstriking Cub Swanson in what could be a fight of the night for sure. Yeah, I mean, Ross Pearson, he's looked both good and bad, but he's pretty much looked the same. We know what he's gonna do. And I think, with his striking, his kicking, his kickboxing, all of that, I think against Cub Swanson he should do all right. I don't think Cub Swanson gets to fight to the ground or gets a submission. I don't think Cub Swanson outstrikes Ross Pearson on the feet. And I don't think he out-hustles Ross Pearson. So with all of those things said, I got to go with Ross Pearson by decision. So there you go. On the undercard, I've got Hatsuhi Yoki, Ramsey Najem, Steven Seiler, Rick Story, Nick Catone, Matt Brown, Dan Miller, and Dustin Pegg. So there you go. Those are my picks for UFC on FX3. And then tomorrow I'll upload my video for UFC 147, which takes place this Saturday. And then this takes place this Friday. Alright, so boom, there you go. MMA, it's important. Peace.